Hey, and Happy New Year. Welcome back to the Low Key Thriving podcast. I'm just checking in if you've touched grass lately. Are you burnt out or have you been online too much? This is a reminder to step outside, not to fix your life, but just to feel the sun a little bit. I mean, most of us are looking to get more vitamin D anyways because we're so deficient in it. So, what does touching grass look like when you're busy, tired, and still showing up? It means walking outside with the noise, appreciating that. You heard me say it in the last episode. There are times I will go take a walk outside and try and find like the noise of a falling leaf while the traffic is hustling and bustling. It's literally sometimes just standing barefoot on grass. There is scientific research behind the connection human beings have with the earth. And sometimes you may look like a weirdo going out into your front yard. This is one of the easiest ways to touch grass, by the way, is being that weirdo to go out into your front yard and barefoot just walk around for a second. Stand outside for 2 minutes. That's my challenge. Stand outside in your grass for 2 minutes. I mean, yeah, we have an ant issue, but they should be a little dormant this time of year. But touch grass. Feel the energy. Feel connected to the earth. Listen to my granola BS and just try it. Humor me. What's the worst that can happen? You get an ant bite? Caution for scorpions or snakes because we're at that weird time of weather where we have like false winters and sometimes the rattlers are still out and about. But go and literally touch grass. Taking a breather before leaving your car. That's another good way to touch grass for a moment. If you've shown up to work, you're already 15 minutes late. What's another minute or two? Honestly. I hope my boss didn't hear me say that. But you've been in the car frustrated. You've thrown a podcast to try and chill you out. I don't know, done whatever you need to do to get through the traffic. And yes, I'm talking about this recently because our highways are a mess. And I live maybe 15, 20 minutes away from my job. And the other day it took me an hour and I was going insane because we had large meetings happening and I couldn't be late. But my GPS is telling me I'm showing up at 7:58 and I'm like, bet that's a challenge. I've had school drop-offs, I've had attitude about outfits, I've had this shirt itches me. I am just not in the mindset to go into these large meetings, do my presentation, sell myself, sell my ideas. And honestly, I really did. I showed up at 7:58, but I took 2 minutes, 2 minutes just to zen, take a deep breath, and realize whatever happened has just happened. I can't change it. I can't do anything. I can't go back in time. I don't have a time machine. I've just got to deal with it. So let me just sit here for 2 minutes in silence, breathe it out. You did it. You made it to work safely. You didn't crash anybody. You didn't flip anybody off. You made it. Congratulations. Now get your ass out of the car and hurry up to the office so you can make your meeting. You've got 30 minutes till showtime. And thankfully, I took those 2 minutes to get my mind right. Sometimes that is a way of touching grass. The overstimulation check. We are overinformed and overconnected at all times. We are undergrounded. Does that make sense? We've got so much information right here in the palm of our hands, that we forget that we need to disconnect sometimes. Like, there is a power button for a reason. There is do not disturb for a reason. There's a reason why those apps have been installed or these time permissions have been installed on our phones and devices. There's reasons for that. And it's so we can disconnect, so we can re engage with reality and humanity. Doom scrolling has become toxic, and we've all done it. We've even heard Lady Gaga in interviews say that she will doom scroll for hours when you're supposed to be doing something else. We get caught in the loop and we get fed so much information, so many opinions, that we forget sometimes that's what it is. It's opinions. It's another person's take. It's another person's reality that we begin to warp in our own. Sometimes those online realities aren't even real. It's a rented house, it's a rented room, It's first show, they've gone to a podcast studio, they've gone to a co-working space. It's not real. Sometimes these families we see online have rented this gorgeous mansion to say that they live there. That's not even their house. I can't remember what article it was, whatever, but they literally said sometimes the Kardashians film and not their own home, but like a house that's maybe a couple of blocks down because they want their privacy. They don't want you in their real living room. They don't want you digging through their actual underwear drawer. No, so half the time we're not even seeing reality. Half the time, people aren't even standing on business. Sometimes they're just standing on a rented soapbox. Keeping that in mind, we are overstimulated with information 24/7. And sometimes silence feels uncomfortable because we aren't used to it anymore. Seriously, you're a parent, you're working, you've got an outside life. Sometimes we're so used to life being noisy that we forget sometimes silence is good. Seriously, have you ever sat in silence and thought, oh, I'm not supposed to be doing this, I'm supposed to be doing something else? Or I find this a lot when I meditate, and I thought I was doing meditation right for the longest time, and I was like, oh, here's this idea popping up. Oh, I'm gonna go with that. Oh, here's this word floating by. Let's stay on this train. No, that's not meditation, that's noise. When those thoughts come to you, when those words come to you, when those visuals come to you while you're meditating, while you're in silence, when you're just supposed to be being one with yourself and just listening to your body breathe, listening to the electricity running through you, feeling your heartbeat, that's what you're supposed to be concentrating on. You're supposed to be taking that noise and moving it gently to the side. I'll get to that later. We're going to take the noise, we're going to unplug. So, yes, silence is going to feel uncomfortable when we start to sit down with ourselves and start to sit down with our thoughts. It's going to feel a little weird, but check yourself. This uncomfortable feeling is normal, and that feeling is going to start to subside slowly, but surely it'll go away. So, be comfortable in the uncomfortableness of the silence. Yeah. Seriously, when did being alone with our thoughts start feeling harder than being overwhelmed? Isn't that crazy? Think about that for a second. Being alone with our thoughts is starting to feel harder than feeling overwhelmed because we're so used to feeling overstimulated all the time. As a millennial, I know this far too well. We've been going through crisis after crisis after crisis, and I forgot what calm life feels like. Pandemics, housing crashes, market crashes, who knows what else, giving birth, doing the things, dealing with this, dealing with aging parents, dealing with their ailments. Like, what do you mean you're going to leave me this in a will? What do you mean I need to come sign this off? What do you mean I need to go to the funeral home with you and help you pick out your caskets? What? And on top of that, I'm dealing with, does my kid have COVID, flu, or is it cedar fever? Does not compute. Okay? Living in a world where our parents used to work their 9 to 5 and be disconnected. There was no internet, there was no working remotely, there was no I'm going to shoot you a text, there was no Teams messaging, there was none of that. When they left work, they disconnected from work. Nowadays, if my boss wants to Teams me, text me, FaceTime me, whatever, they can. They can show up on my time off, which sometimes I allow if there's something going on and I know something's happening. Cool. But sometimes it's so hard to disconnect, especially as millennials and we're the hustlers we are, and we've kind of been conditioned to be that way, to be the best at everything. It can be so hard to unplug. It can be so hard to say, it's after 5 p.m., you're gonna have to wait till tomorrow. No, no, we need to go back to that. That's something older generations got right, is disconnecting and being unavailable. Be okay with being unavailable and respect people's choices for being unavailable, right? So, touch grass that way too. Now, nervous system care. Nature regulates us. What if touching grass is less about productivity and more about regulation? Again, there are studies that show getting up to watch the sunrise, like the gamma rays or whatever, do something to your body. It does something to your nervous system. It regulates you. There's something about going into a forest and breathing that fresh air. Have you ever done that? Have you ever gone into like, and I've only driven through like the California redwoods area, and it is, ooh, gorgeous. There is something, even just while we were driving through there for the few hours that we did to get to our destination, rolling down the windows and breathing in nature. It was something that, I mean, moods changed in the entire car ride. I was with my in-laws, my husband, and I think Cece was 3 or 4 at the time. There was something about it. We all just went quiet and we all just, can you feel that? Again, I know it's granola mumbo jumbo, but nature regulates us. Putting your toes in the sand. I don't care if you're at Canyon Lake. I don't care if you're in Galveston. I might care if you're in Galveston. I don't care if you're in Galveston. I don't care where you are. Putting your toes in the sand does something. The ocean, the water is my happy place. So when I dive into the ocean and I can hear the subtle waves, and I know that this ocean, even if it's the Gulf of Mexico, is connected to the Atlantic, the Pacific, to the Indian Ocean, to there, it all just kind of circulates about in some random way. It does something to me. It makes me feel a certain way. It makes me feel cleaner, better. Even when I come out of the water with those darn oil whatever on me, the oil spots, there's something about it. There's something so naturistic about being one with the water, putting your toes in the sand, knowing that this beach has been here for years and nobody's told it to be there. It's just is. It's just there and it's just existing and you're existing with nature. Something about it. It really cures the nervous system. And again, there are studies, maybe I'll find some and post some links to some, but there's scientific data that shows nature regulates our nervous system. So yes, go touch grass. So micro ways we can touch grass. Step outside during a call. If you have the ability to take a Teams call, and our office building actually has like a little spot with picnic tables that are really cute. If you're able to take that call outside in nature, do it. Maybe FaceTime your mom on your monthly call or whatever outside. Sit on your porch for a little bit. Have a family dinner outside on your patio if you can. You don't have to go to a fancy park. If you want to, cool. But if you're tight on time and you know you all just need to be regulated a little bit, throw a blanket in your lawn, have a pizza night, take the easy route. You don't have to make it complicated. Watch your kids and pets play without multitasking. I can't tell you how many times I've had my laptop in my lap. I'm thinking about the content I'm posting, and my kids are like, Mom, look at this. Mom, look what I can do. Stuart, when they're doing these things. And I've got so much going on that now I've become overstimulated because I'm not living in the moment. Be there. Watch them kick that goal without being distracted. Watch them live their lives. And sometimes, honestly, just watching my dog play in the yard is hilarious. I've got a big old German Shepherd, and sometimes seeing this 90-pound dog play with his little tennis ball, just being chaotic, is so fun to see. He's happy. He's just there living with his little tennis ball. And sometimes I'm too busy or too focused on something else to notice the little joys in life. Watching my kid hit that cartwheel, hitting her back handspring in the lawn. I would miss those moments multitasking. So sometimes it's just being entertained, watching, and focusing on what's happening in the now is great. We can learn a lot from watching our kids and pets play in the yard. It's eating lunch without the phone. And I'm not talking about putting your phone face down on the table. No. Leave your phone in the bag. Leave it upstairs in the office. Go eat lunch, no phone call. Unplug, disconnect, D&D. I don't know. Have your 30-minute lunch and quiet, right? Sunbathe. Don't forget to use your SPF, okay? We know the realness of skin cancer, so make sure you lather yourself with SPF, but sunbathe for a moment. Have you ever seen those cats on windowsills? and they're just in the sun, warming up, and you can just kind of see the coziness on their face. They're not only soaking in the vitamin D that's much needed, especially for human beings because we're so short on it because we're indoors so much, but when you're actually sitting there in the sun, you're getting the warmth, it's regulating your nervous system, and it's doing something to your peace. It's giving you those moments, especially when you're in quiet and you can enjoy it. Or sometimes, like again, when I'm on the beach and I just close my eyes and I can hear my kids giggle in the background. I can hear the waves crashing. I know they're making memories. I'm just there sunbathing with my amazing SPF and soaking in that vitamin D and living real in that moment. So remember, we should not feel guilty for resting. And why sometimes we need the reset is FOMO. We get a lot of FOMO. We like to compare ourselves. We like to say, Susie T has 3 jobs, she's hustling, and she still has time to look great and do this. And we scroll and we see it, and so much is happening. Comparison isn't about doing more, but maybe emulating some of the things that people are doing in those videos, the realness behind it. Yeah, they've got content. Yeah, the cameras fell 5 times. We don't see those imperfections, what have you. But yeah, when we realize we're starting to compare ourselves, maybe it's time for a reset. And who says we have to be online to be relevant? You can be ambitious and grounded. You can heal without showing up. You don't owe the internet constant live access. You don't. If you want to cut off the camera, cut off the camera. You can go back and edit later. That's what we're doing. We're editing, we're showing you the highlight reels. I'm trying not to. You're getting the real with the real. I've taken out some filler words, but yeah, you're getting real life. I'm in my movie room. I'm not in some podcast studio. You're getting the real. Sometimes you hear my kids laugh, do all the things. And sometimes I will disappear for a week. Sometimes my content is not consistent. And that doesn't make me a great influencer, but that makes me a damn good human. The internet does not need to have access to my life 24/7. And younger generations, listen up. I'm talking to you. You don't need to document everything, not even just safety wise, okay? Because there's a lot of weirdos in this world now, but you don't need to have it documented. I remember running in the streets. We didn't have our GoPros on our bicycles. I don't even see kids out and about in the streets anymore on bikes. Get on your bike. Touch grass. Don't come home until the streetlights come on. Get the hell out of my house. Now I know how our parents felt. Ew. Yes, go out, touch grass, experience life with your peers, with your friends. Be okay with being a kid and not having to post it or do a dance about it. Go enjoy life. Get out there, okay? And don't compare yourself to other people. Don't do that. Go out there, be a kid, touch grass. So this week, our assignment isn't going to be about growth. I want you to go out there and be present. Let me know what you did, how you did, whatever you did to touch grass for this week. Let's engage, let's learn from each other, and let's be real, and let's keep low-key thriving. And remember, you don't have to have it all figured out today to be doing okay. Wherever you are in life, this season counts. You're allowed to move at your own pace, you're allowed to change your mind, and you're allowed to define success in a way that actually fits your life. Thank you for being here, for showing up as you are, and for being a part of this community. Stay connected, stay real, and keep low-key thriving.